Have you ever stopped to think about what it means to wake up every day facing the challenge of surviving on less than $1? This isn't a 24-hour challenge. It's not a temporary social experiment. It's the daily reality for millions of people in one of the poorest and least talked about countries in the world, Burundi. Here, the value of a single coin, a coin that many people overlook, determines what someone will eat, or if they will eat at all. And the scariest part, almost no one outside of Africa knows this. But today, you're going to see this reality with your own eyes. While the world chases likes, comfort, and luxury, there's a parallel reality unfolding in Burundi, where survival is a silent act of resistance. There are no filters, no disguises, only real people living in ways most of us could never imagine. And in this video, I'm not just going to show you what it's like to live on less than $1 a day. I'm going to take you on a journey that challenges your assumptions, breaks the mold, and maybe even changes how you see the true value of things. Because when everything someone owns fits in the palm of their hand, every gesture, every smile, every step carries immense weight. But this video isn't just about poverty. It's about humanity. It's about the strength of those who, even with nothing, still manage to smile. Yes, it's about Burundi, but it's also about what's still essential inside each of us. What happens when the whole world seems to have forgotten you? How do you live? What do you feel? What do you dream? When tomorrow depends on just a few cents, stay with me till the end. The journey we're starting now might not be comfortable, but I promise you, it will change you. If this already made you reflect, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon, because here, we dive into stories that few dare to tell, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Like this video if this topic touched you in any way, and leave a comment below. Could you live on less than $1 a day? Oh, and take a look at the links in the description. There are some opportunities there that might surprise you, and maybe even inspire you to do something big. The value of $1 in Burundi. When we talk about $1, it's easy to think of something insignificant. In many countries, that amount doesn't even buy a cup of coffee. But in Burundi, a single dollar can represent an entire day's meal, or the reason a child goes to bed hungry. Here, life unfolds within tight limits, where every cent is counted, bargained, and often still not enough. Living on less than $1 a day is not a choice. It is the reality for more than 80% of the country's population. Burundi is located in the Great Lakes region of East Africa, bordered by Rwanda, Tanzania, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Despite its lush natural beauty and warm-hearted people, the country faces deep-rooted historical challenges, decades of ethnic conflict, political instability, and resource scarcity. According to updated data from the World Bank, Burundi's per capita gross domestic product is among the lowest on the planet, with over 70% of the population living below the extreme poverty line. Basic infrastructure is limited, access to clean water, electricity, and healthcare services is restricted, especially in rural areas. But perhaps the greatest challenge is what ends up on the plate. What can someone eat in Burundi with less than $1? On most days, it comes down to cassava, beans, and if luck permits, a bit of corn or green banana. Meat, milk, and eggs are luxury items, almost entirely out of reach for most of the population. It is in this context that we witness the silent strength of a people who endure. Children walk for miles to attend school on an empty stomach. Women carry firewood over long distances just to cook the little they have. Men work all day for coins that don't come close to buying a decent meal. In Burundi, survival isn't automatic. It's a daily effort, a small miracle repeated day after day. And the most striking part, even in the face of such scarcity, it's common to see smiles, hospitality, and generosity among those who have almost nothing. This deep contradiction between material poverty and human richness is what makes Burundi's story so powerful and so necessary to tell. We're not talking about numbers, we're talking about lives. About real people who fight, dream, and persist, even when the world seems to have forgotten them. Daily life in Burundi. In Burundi, the day begins early. Before the sun rises, villages are already in motion. Children, many of them barefoot, walk long distances to school, often without having eaten anything, not because they chose to study on an empty stomach, but because there is simply nothing to eat. School, in fact, is a living symbol of hope. It is seen by many parents as the only escape route from a limited life. Even when there are not enough books, notebooks, or chairs for all the students, childhood in Burundi is brief. Responsibilities replace play at an early age. Girls help carry heavy buckets of water, often for hours. Boys, still very young, already learn to work in the fields or assist with household chores. Poverty not only robs them of food, it shortens the time of innocence. Amid so much scarcity, play becomes a luxury, and what should be a light-hearted phase of life turns into a constant exercise in endurance. Informal work is the backbone of Burundi's economy. A large portion of the population survives through subsistence farming, growing just enough for their own consumption. Tools are rudimentary, the land often dry, and the unstable climate threatens crops. Even so, day after day, entire families gather to cultivate what little they have, with callous hands and quiet hope. Working is not an option, it is a vital necessity, even for children, who often split their days between school and heavy physical labor. The cruelest part is that, even with so much effort, the return is minimal. The equivalent of $1 a day be earned after hours of exhausting work, and even then, that amount must be divided between food, transport, clothing, and often medicine. In Burundi, hard work rarely means progress. In most cases, it only ensures the repetition of the next day, a routine without guarantees, but with a great deal of dignity. And yet, there is something deeply moving: resilience. There is a strong sense of community, a collective gaze among those who share not only pain, but also solutions. When food is missing in one household, what little there is in another is shared. When a child gets sick, neighbors come together to take them to the nearest health post. In Burundi, where almost everything is scarce, solidarity is abundant. And perhaps it is this spirit that truly keeps so many lives in motion. The invisible weight, health, hope, and dreams on hold. Poverty in Burundi is not limited to what meets the eye. It lives in the silences. It's in the stifled cry of a mother who can't afford medicine for her feverish child. It's in the empty expression of someone who has grown used to pain. The healthcare system is fragile and, in many areas, almost non-existent. Clinics operate with little or no infrastructure, without permanent doctors, and with medicine shelves often completely empty. In places where people survive on less than $1 a day, getting sick can be a silent death sentence. Diseases that could be easily treated become fatal. Malaria, for instance, remains one of the leading causes of death in Burundi, especially among young children. Severe malnutrition affects thousands of them, hindering not only physical growth but also cognitive development. Often, the available food lacks nutritional value, and access to clean water is limited, leading to infections and diarrheal diseases that could be prevented with even the most basic infrastructure. For many, hope becomes an act of imagination. In Burundi, dreaming takes courage. Asking a child what they want to be when they grow up can reveal a brutal contrast between ambition and reality. They dream of becoming doctors, teachers, engineers, yet they don't know if they'll have food tomorrow. And yet, those dreams exist, they persist, and they are what drive many parents to walk miles on foot to make sure their children at least have a chance to go to school. Despite international neglect and chronic resource shortages, seeds of change are beginning to sprout in Burundi. Local initiatives, led by committed Burundians, are seeking sustainable solutions like community gardens, makeshift schools, and adult literacy programs. The presence of NGOs has also helped keep a small flame of progress alive. Transformation here doesn't come in waves. It comes drop by drop, gesture by gesture, person by person. Perhaps the hardest part is realizing that all of this is happening while the rest of the world barely notices. It's as if Burundi stands on the edge of global awareness, screaming in silence. And it is precisely this silence that makes it urgent and necessary to bring these stories to light. Not to evoke pity, but to awaken awareness. To remind us that while some live to accumulate, others survive just to keep going. And between these extremes, there are lives that deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. What Burundi can teach us about the value of life. As we reach the end of this journey through Burundi, it's impossible not to feel a weight in our chest. But it's not just the weight of poverty, hunger, or injustice. It's the weight of contrast. Because while many of us live surrounded by excess, worried about problems that are often mere inconveniences, there are people who live with almost nothing, and yet, they keep going. In Burundi, every small gesture holds immense value. A shared piece of bread, a smile in the face of scarcity, a tight hug that replaces everything that's missing. Burundi challenges us. It forces us to look beyond our own world and question what truly matters. What does it mean to live a dignified life? What is enough? And what are we doing with the privileges we have? There is no room for the superfluous. Every choice is made with care. Every lived day is a victory. And maybe that's why the stories that come from there carry a depth many places have lost. The great lesson Burundi offers is not only found in its pain, but in its resilience. In a place where even the basics are not guaranteed, people still believe. They believe tomorrow can be better, even when today feels impossible. They build, even when everything around them collapses. They dream, even without evidence that their dreams will ever come true. This faith in life, this clinging to human dignity, is something money can never buy. While the world speeds up, seeks more, wants more, demands more, Burundi teaches us to look at what is essential. It shows us that true wealth may lie in how we care for each other, in how we endure through scarcity, in the value we place on what truly matters. The suffering we've seen here is real, but so is the strength that pulses through every story, every face, every step. In the end, Burundi is not just a forgotten country, it is a mirror inviting us to reflect, a silent reminder that life is not measured solely by numbers, but by courage, solidarity, and humanity. What we've seen here may be harsh, but it cannot, and must not, be ignored. Ending this journey through Burundi is not the same as turning our backs. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Every story told, every silent gaze, every gesture from someone surviving with almost nothing. It all stays with us. What we've seen here, in just a distant reality, it's a raw portrait of global inequality. And more than that, it's an invitation to reflect on what we truly value in our own lives. The people of Burundi are not asking for pity. They keep going. Despite absence, despite hunger, despite the daily struggle, they teach us, through their silent strength, that there is dignity even in scarcity, and that hope can survive even where almost everything has been taken. That's the true power of humanity, to keep believing. And maybe, by learning about these stories, we'll realize how much we can still do, not just for Burundi, but for any place where life deserves to be remembered with respect and care. If this video touched you in any way, if a scene stayed in your mind, or if a single phrase moved you, then it was already worth it. Now take a moment to subscribe to the channel, because here, we keep searching for stories that matter, realities that challenge us, and truths that few dare to show. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos, and leave a like, because when you interact, this message reaches even further. And drop a comment below. What surprised you the most about learning about Burundi? Oh, and before you leave, take a look at the links in the description. There are a few things there that might interest you, inspire you, or be even open doors you didn't know existed. See you in the next video.